This is the first public comment meeting. There'll be another one for the public hearing tonight, but if anyone in the audience would like to address the zoning board, you can speak for up to 3 minutes. Nobody in the audience? We'll move on to item 7, postponed business, of which we have none. So we'll dive into the public hearing. This is the public hearing for case ZBA 06-25-01, owner Kirk Bilby, property identified as property ID 28-08-021-054-00, section 21, Long Lake Township, Grand Traverse County, commonly addressed as 2615 Crescent Shores Drive, Traverse City, Michigan, 49685. The parcel is owned Lake Residential. They're proposing to construct a new single-family dwelling and raising the existing cottage that's there. They're requesting 2 variances. One is a 15-foot variance from the required 50-foot waterside setback, and variance 2 is a 35-foot variance from the required 50-foot front yard setback. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:04. And well, I guess we need a conflict of interest. Ask again, does anyone have a conflict of interest with this case tonight?
No.
Not I. Finding none, we'll move on to the presentation of the request as received by staff.
Kirk Bilby is the property owner of...
Yeah, please.
Maybe, that'll help. Property owner 2615 Crescent Shores Drive. Mr. Bilby is requesting to demolish an existing non-conforming single-family dwelling and build a new one. The parcel is a non-conforming lake residential lot that is approximately 0.23 acres. The waterside setback and the front setback overlap, providing no buildable area within the lot. The existing single-family dwelling is believed to have been constructed in the 1930s. The home is approximately 648 square feet of livable area. Mr. Bilby has stated to me that the current home is in such disrepair he needs to demolish it and replace it with a new home. He's requesting to build a home that is approximately 2,000 square feet. The new home will be more conforming to the setbacks than the existing home is now. The existing home currently sits within the road right-of-way of Crescent Shores Drive and also within the waterside setback. The new home, as proposed, will be constructed 15 feet out of the road right-of-way and 35 feet from the ordinary high water mark. It should be noted there has been a previous ZBA case on this property. It's ZBA case number 5-01-04, approved on 5/1 of 2001. That was to request a 15-foot variance from the 50-foot lakeside setback and a 40-foot variance from the required 50-foot front yard setback to provide for the removal of an existing cabin and the construction of a new single-family dwelling with an attached garage. The ZBA case was approved, however, the approved variance was never completed and the approval has since expired. Mr. Bilby is requesting a 35-foot variance from the required 50-foot front setback and a 15-foot variance from the required 50-foot waterside setback to construct a new residential home. And that's all I have, unless you guys have questions.
We can probably get to those when we open deliberation. Comments and explanation by applicant. It appears the applicant is not here tonight. Sounds like that is acceptable. We can still hear the case without his presentation.
There's nothing in the bylaws that says he had to be here.
Okay. So this is the second public hearing open to public comment. If any person wants to speak for up to 3 minutes about specifically this case, they're welcome to, but seeing no one in the audience, we'll move on to closing the public hearing 1 minute later, which is 6:07. And moving on to discussion and questions by the ZBA.
Hey, Max, after further looking at this, section 3.2.2, it says the ZBA will not act upon an application without the property owner or designated representative of the applicant present at the meeting without a good cause. Would you like me to try to give him a call since we're already rolling on this? And he expressed lots of interest in being here tonight, so I don't know if something happened or,
I guess you could give him a
Just take
call.
a-
I don't know how much time we want to wait for him to get here to, if he's got to drive.
well, I'm just curious if he's out at Twin Lakes or not.
Could we do the other part of what we have to do tonight? Well, you call?
The officer election?
Yeah.
I think
We would have
that's, you have already approved the agenda, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
You're right.
I don't think you can change it at this point. Yeah, I would say,
It'd just take a couple
Let's-
minutes.
let's take a minute and give him a phone call
Yeah.
and find out if he's,
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there was a hybrid truck parked and it was plugged in, so.
Okay, yeah, I know, it just doesn't seem like him not, so let me call him.
I'm going to stop recording. Don't let me forget to start it.
You could entertain us, Cody, with your rendition of Oklahoma.
I don't need everybody's ears to bleed. Me saying doesn't need to happen.
How did the planning commission meeting go? Sorry, I had a planned trip to the UP. I couldn't
No worries.
be here, but
It went well.
we're ADU, I flipped through the thing quick, but that was 2 weeks ago. Were ADUs on the
Yeah,
agenda?
Yeah, they discussed that tonight.
And Kevin was there because we were kind of waiting for Kevin's input on that ordinance, right?
Yeah, the result of the meeting were CCLUs both were approved with conditions, the similar exchange was discussed and decided for their investigation opinion. So we're postponing the decision on that until they can, have special study session to go over that further.
Is the special study session going to be the planning commission?
Yeah.
It will be.
When is that?
Sorry?
When is
It
that?
hasn't been scheduled.
Oh, okay. Will you let me know, please?
So the two things in the agenda were the subdivision that we tabled the meeting before,
Mhm.
which was approved, I saw. And
And,
then the daycare center
yeah.
moving to the church, is
Right.
it Kensington Church, is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah, moved from Sojourn to Kensington. Sojourn has some structural problems that they couldn't repair with.
I saw I was in the ticker because of that meeting the next day. Said Long Lake Township approves this and approves that. Said Bob Vershave did not vote because he had a conflict of interest and Max Spot was absent.
Max Bauer's absent.
That's what it said in the ticker. I'm like, see, I'm famous, I was absent.
What was Bob's conflict of interest?
I believe he has a contract with them in a different location, so I don't think it's like,
With the church?
with the Grand Church that explained to.
Oh, okay. Is that who runs that daycare, is the Y?
Yeah.
Correct.
Nice.
That's, Sojourn hated to lose him because it was a good, it worked out well, but they have some, like I said, some foundation, I think it's foundation problems or something, anyway, because they're in the basement, and they had to do some repairs, and they couldn't do it with them there, so they were going to do a big remodel.
Where's Sojourn at? I know I've seen the sign other times.
Right there on, off of 31 and, what's, yeah, McCray Hill.
Apparently there was a confusion on his part on time. He will be here in a couple minutes if that's acceptable with you guys.
Sure.
So I told him there was 6 o'clock on every piece of paperwork that he received, so I don't. Yeah, I guess. Do we
I
pause?
turned the recorder off after it
Should we
started back
pause
up.
this? Just leave it on. I don't know. Okay, right. I don't know how to work these things.
Since Cody won't, how about you entertaining us with your rendition of Oklahoma?
I know how to play the guitar, but I can't sing very well.
You don't
so-
have to play guitar.
Well,
You
then
can do it
you're
a
not
cappella.
getting it from me.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay. So he slides to the side, it turns the camera on.
Yeah, the problem is if we don't wait a few minutes for him, then we're gonna have this case again next month. So it
Yeah.
doesn't
It's on
make a
there
lot of
again.
sense if we don't have any other reason to have a meeting
Are you
next
sure it was a
month.
stop street?
Yeah,
Should I just leave it? Should I?
get it done,